do you feel that Blind Guardian, that you have attained the level of respect that you deserve when you have experimented with symphonics, orchestras, folk elements through the years?
Yes and no. Obviously, there are a lot of people that do respect this and also expect it from us, not just respect it.
Okay, yeah.
But there seem to be some people in the scene that they prefer to get the same thing over and over again. They wish for, I don't know, Imaginations 10 times in a row or stuff like that, or that we release like 10 Somewhere Far Beyond albums in a row. And that's obviously, that's not what we want. And I guess that's also what 99% of our fans do not want, because it would just be way too boring for us to do the same thing over and over again. We prefer to explore new grounds and always come up with something new and something that we didn't do before. But I guess in general, I guess, yes, we have the respect for that. The biggest thing for sure is that finally we had the chance to work with a real orchestra that we never did before. Every orchestration that you could hear in any of the previous albums came from keyboards, computers. And this time we finally had the chance to work with a 90-people orchestra, which is a giant step for us because it just sounds so much better. A well-programmed keyboard orchestra can sound very good, but it's no match to a real thing. It just sounds much bigger, it sounds warmer, it sounds more natural. And we were aiming at all those natural sounds in special for this album, also not just with the orchestration, also with the drums, for example, because most modern productions use a lot of samples for the drum sounds. We didn't use any. So all the drums that you can hear on the album is Frederick's natural drum kit recorded with microphones, and that's it. No samples, no nothing. And that was something that we definitely wanted to do for this one. And we also, in contrast to the last couple of albums, our roots came back more to the surface, I would say. There's a lot of very aggressive, very fast songs like back in the early Blind Guardian days. People were comparing them with stuff that would have fit to Somewhere Far Beyond, for example. The speed and thrash metal roots of Blind Guardian came back stronger than in the last couple of years. And we've been also experimenting a lot with, like Oriental scales and melodies, with lots of folkloristic things. We always had folkloristic influences in the past already. It started with a song like Passing Future Secret, for example, but this time we took some more steps into that direction. And there's a song, Curse My Name, that has all those folkloristic influences, but this time we used all those instruments. There are tons of flutes and violins and bagpipes and harps, and we even recorded a step dancing band and used the sound of their feet as a percussive instrument for that song. So we tried some things that we never did in the past. It was a lot of fun.
But will you be disappointed if people don't notice the effort behind everything now?
I'm not expecting everybody to hear every tiny little detail. Blind Guardian music is known to be rather complex, with lots of tiny, small details. And I know that, for some people, and that's not meant to be negative also. I know that some people will take years to discover all those details, if they will discover them all, So that would not really be disappointing for me, as long as the people, listen to the album, and, if they like it, perfect. If they don't like it, I don't even have a problem with this. If somebody can tell me why he doesn't like it, that's fine for me, I just don't like this, just saying, I know you're a crap. That's I don't know. I don't.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be disappointed if somebody, for example, says I can't hear the harp in that song or whatever. I don't mind that.
How much does it demand of you in the band to write the music you compose? I mean, as you said, it's complicated. There's a lot of stuff going on, and the orchestration, it probably didn't take just one weekend full of alcohol. I guess it was very hard work.
That takes a bit longer. Yeah, it is a lot of work, and in this we're perfectionists. We always, we can get lost in small details for quite some time, but we're always aiming at, the best possible result that we can deliver in that period of time.
Yeah.
And this means, as I said, we can work on the tiniest small little details for ages, but we do so until everybody in the band is perfectly happy with the result. And as long as one in the band says, that's not what I want, that's not what I expected this song to be like, we know that the journey didn't end then in that point, and we still have to work on this. And of course, the more you add, like the more guitar arrangements or keyboard arrangements or orchestrations or whatever, the more you want to add, the more work it is, of course. So everything works together in the end. But we take all the time that we need. That's why Blind Guardian albums don't come out every year. But that's the only way we can work.
How do you find out what ideas you can continue to develop on which to throw away when you are writing the music?
Sometimes you just get stuck and you just can't get ahead from a certain point on, and then sometimes you just throw it away or you put it back in the drawer and maybe work on it another time. And sometimes you just realize that whatever you are working on is not really pleasing you in whatever way. For example, a good example from this album would be the song Wheel of Time, which originally was not planned to be on this album. Originally, it was written for our orchestral project. So the basic original version was just orchestra and Hansi singing, obviously. But this version was not working in a way that we were happy with it. So I think Hansi suggested, let's try it with a metal band.
Okay.
So that's when all the metal things came in, and it worked much better. And then Charlie pointed out that we should maybe try to feature all those oriental scales and melodies, because that was something completely new in Blind Guardian sound, something that we didn't have before. So that's when we worked on the orchestration again and have them feature, the certain guitar lines and add them and add harmony voices and stuff like this. And like this, the song constantly grew. So that's an example of how you can still, fix things if the original is not the way you want it to be. But in other cases, of course, you work on something and in the end it doesn't work, then you just throw it away.
Okay, yeah. You have played live a lot with Blind Guardian, and when you play the gig, what does it take for you to feel great afterwards? Because a lot of musicians, they often say that, well, I didn't have enough monitor, I didn't have enough sound, while I, as a listener, I mean, to me it was the perfect gig. What does it take for you as a musician to feel great afterwards, after a gig?
I can feel great after a gig even if the monitor sound should have been crappy. What makes a gig a great thing is the feedback between the fans and the band. If this feedback works, we go on stage, we try to give some energy to the fans, and they give it back to us, and like this, you get more and more kind of high on the music, and that's what makes the gig special for me. If the sound on stage, we all play with in-ear monitors, and we have a crew that works for us since ages. So thank God we normally have a very, very good sound on stage, so we don't have to deal with those problems. But even if the sound would not be optimum, if the fans give us this feedback of energy, I don't mind the sound, Then I can still think after the gig, it was a hell of a gig, even though the sound sucked. But, for me, the important thing is this communication and this feedback between band and audience. This works, then I can say, yeah, that gig was great.